And welcome back to Fantasy Baseball Camp. This is episode 38. We're getting into waiver wire. Is this week 17 already, Wes?
I think it is. I think it is
Dude,
week 17. Time flies.
playoffs are just around the corner, actually. Usually week 23, I think, is our week 22,
Yeah,
23 ish.
we do the double week though for playoffs.
No, we don't.
We did the double week for playoffs though.
We did it, but then it got long. You had to use that last week of September where pitchers weren't starting all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You just
It's
that's not
weird.
fair to championship teams. You had Max Scherzer not starting the final week because they were making the playoffs. It just
Yeah,
didn't
it
make
was
sense.
it was weird.
But we're here to help you make it to those final periods that we're talking about. If you're on the cut, if you've been listening to us, you've filled your holes probably that you've had either injuries or you've picked up some guys who are hot. We've had some pretty good recommendations on guys. Um,
I feel like we've
Ozuna
been
from
on a
the
hot streak lately, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have another mention of a guy that I've mentioned a couple weeks ago already, coming back, and let's just get rolling right into it, Wes. I'm gonna start us right off. A guy I don't know why he's so under owned still, and that's Will Benson. Why is Will Benson only 33% owned?
I'm not sure. I'm not
So
sure why he's not as he should be, at least in the 70s, 80s.
he's just being overshadowed by Ellie, Matt McClain, Spencer Steer. The guy, since his return from AAA, so his batting line 325, 432, 593, seven doubles, four triples, seven home runs, 10 stolen bases. He's doing it in every single category. I think he just must be getting overshadowed. The dude's like 6'6", big guy, doing it all. If you look at his trends, he's putting up at least 20 points a week. If we were to tier him up, he almost fits into that near elite because, just kidding, I'm lying. 15, 19, I wouldn't say near elite, but I mean, he's scoring you 20
I'm
points a week.
I mean,
I got ahead of myself there with
here's
that near elite. Sorry.
you did. I wouldn't put him in the near elite category yet. He certainly has the skill set to be there. But here's the thing about Benson. I mean, he was a first rounder. I mean, he was the number 14 overall pick out of the draft. And a lot of people might not know about him because he didn't perform well in the minors. So he wasn't a top 100 guy, right? He wasn't a top prospect because he never got himself there in the minor league. So he didn't have a lot of helium coming into the major league debut. And then he gets to the major leagues and his skill set starts blossoming and you see what he can do. And you're like, man, he's got power. He's got speed. Man, he's a really exciting player to watch. So I'm buying in on Benson, man. I mean, he's probably a three, at least three, if not four category contributor. I mean, he's got power. He's stealing bases, driving in runs. The Reds are fun to watch, and he's just getting overshadowed by McClain, like you said, Ellie, like you said, Abbott. I mean, he's like the fourth guy that they've brought up this year. Look, I don't know, man. I'm buying into Will
Maybe
Benson. If you know,
fourth, maybe. Yeah, he's. I mean, what great scouting by the Reds. Last year
no
they
kidding.
traded at the beginning of this year. They traded for Benson. As of January 25th of 2023, he was the Cleveland Guardians number 21 prospect.
Right.
Um,
And
I
then
don't know what brought him over. I have to look up
and
the
I'm not
trade.
sure what clicked when he got to Cincinnati. I don't know because even in Cincinnati's AAA, he hit 206, right? But he got to the big leagues and something clicked. And, he's hitting 282 right now with 7 home runs and 10 stolen bases. I mean, that's the first round type numbers, second round type numbers that you're looking for where you get the power speed combo.
How bad are the Guardians? Mad that they made this trade and could be really wishing that Benson was in their outfield right now. They traded him at the beginning of the
Yeah.
year for Justin Boyd, who was a 2022 second round pick. I mean, the Reds, props to the Red scouting. Last year they traded Tyler Malley,
Yeah,
Tyler Malley
Mally.
for Spencer Steer and Christian Encarnacion Strand. Look at these
Yeah,
three guys. Great scouting.
and didn't they get did they get them from Cleveland as well?
From Minnesota.
Minnesota, it's Minnesota. Yeah, yeah.
What is
And
Minnesota doing
like
for Tyler
Christian
Malley?
Encarnacion Strand and who else was it?
Spencer Steer.
Steer. Yeah, it was Spencer Steer. Like they weren't top of the Minnesota's top 30 prospects list. I mean, they were
Right.
midway up their prospects list until they got to Cincinnati. And man, whatever they're doing there in Cincinnati as far as drafting and developing, it's working.
What's in the water over there at Great American
I
Ballpark?
don't know, man.
So, all right, we got into the depths there of how Will Benson got there. Wes, how about you give us a pick to help us get
Yeah,
some
I mean,
listeners
we're
into the
talking
playoffs?
we're talking about some undervalued players, underowned. I'm going to talk about Seth Lugo. All right, Seth Lugo is a SPARP. He's starting pitcher, relief pitcher eligible, and he's vastly underowned. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now. I believe it was less than 60%, but his last 5 starts, he's gone 6+ in all but one of them, and he's given up 2 runs or less in all but one. Struck out at least 5 in every single one of them, and honestly, him and Blake Snell have been the bright spots for the Padres. And for me, at this point in the season, finding a spark like that you can insert into maybe a relief pitcher role, and then trading a relief pitcher and in combination with somebody, man, that's the kind of stuff that wins you leagues. Whenever you can fill a relief pitcher spot like that and start getting starting pitcher points out of them, that's the type of move that really kind of puts you ahead. And a guy like Seth Lugo, he's been really good all year. He was out for a little while injured, but since he's come back, man, he's been fantastic, as Tommy would say.
His his strikeout to walk ratio all year. I was just going to highlight June and July, but in April, 26 strikeouts in 27 innings, but only 6 walks. In May, he had a little bit of maybe one bad start. He only made 3 starts, but his ERA got up there. In June, he's 2.25 ERA, 16 innings, 15 strikeouts, only 1 walk in those
Yeah,
16 innings.
the walks is the thing I love. The entire season, right? There's only been 2 games he's walked more than 2, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games where he walked none.
I'm a big
That's
whip
especially in a
guy.
points league.
Right. I'm a big whip guy. I like looking at walks plus innings divided by innings pitched. If it's near 1, that's good. If it's below 1, that's elite. And the guy in the
Yeah,
month of June had a 1.00 whip, and then in July in 4 starts, 1.04. Fantastic. This is a great look here, Wes, at South Lugo for a team who is going to be looking to maybe be buyers. The Padres can't be selling, right?
I just don't think that AJ Preller has it in him to sell. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where like the Padres are like the younger brother, and they just cannot accept that the Dodgers are winning, and like they're gonna fight to the end, man. They're gonna buy. They're gonna do whatever they have to. It doesn't matter what they lose. I honestly feel like that's kind of their past. So I don't see Lugo getting traded because of that fact.
Right. I mean, the Padres are in fourth. It's with a lineup of Machado, Tatis, Bogarts,
It's
Soto. Where's their
talk about
hole?
disappointments, man. Like talk about disappointments on the year. They're definitely one of them.
Where's their hole? First base is Cronenworth.
Maybe. I mean, yeah.
So,
They don't have a Freddie Freeman there, but it's not like Cronenworth hasn't been productive. I mean, Ha-Seong Kim's been really good. I mean, like, where are their weaknesses? I mean, starting rotation maybe, but like Blake Snell, dude, Blake Snell's been the best pitcher in baseball since like the end of May.
yes, he's the MLB leader in ERA.
Yeah, I, dude.
Not and from one point it was just those starts from like May something, but now it's for the
Yeah,
entire year. He is the MLB ERA leader. I mean, you got Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, Michael Watka was doing amazing things, and now Blake Snell
yeah.
is having a career year. I would say this is almost just, if not better than his Cy Young year right now.
If they could get a top of the line starter, you could convince me that they might sneak in. But they just haven't put it together all year, honestly.
If
So
do they need a top? I mean, Darvish and Snell. Darvish has not been terrible. I think if I don't know. I don't know what it would take there.
I don't know what the answer is, but you
Play
know,
better baseball. Machado's trying. Machado's trying. They need it from Soto.
yeah,
But a team that has been trying is the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs were on the brinks of punting the season, looking like sellers, and now they have won 5 on the about to be 6 games in a row, their longest win streak of the season. And when you have a team like that is winning ball games, usually the closer is pretty valuable. And I talked about him before, and I'm going to talk about him right here again because he went in and struck out the side against, I'm blanking who it just was. He just came in and closed the game for the Cardinals last night. Adbert Alzolay, closer for the Cubs. If the Cubs are buyers, Alzolay should be rostered in every league.
yeah, I'm gonna agree with that.
The Cubs are the only team in the NL Central with a positive run differential. If they could just get, Cody Bellinger's back. He's back.
Yeah,
He's back.
he's back, and I don't. Again, that's one of those success stories where you're like, I don't know what went wrong for him in LA, but he's clearly back.
Right.
And I mean, obviously for fantasy purposes, you're not necessarily going to buy low on a Bellinger right now, but you know, I'm buying into Alzolay because the Cubs are winning games and the Central is still up for grabs. And it would be one thing if Alzolay was on, an Oakland A's and he was the closer there and he was getting traded to a new team. I might be concerned whether he would still be the closer anywhere else. But right now, he is the closer in Chicago for the Cubs. And look, as long as he's the closer and he's still in Chicago, I'm buying into him.
Yeah, in the month of July, he's got 7 saves, 15 strikeouts.
Yeah.
And he should get another one by the end of the month of July. If the Cubs add, which they should. They could even retool a little bit and still be competitive in that NL Central. They're only 5 games, maybe I think less than that now out of the wild card. They could win. They could come back, and I don't know that the Reds are young. They don't have pitching right now to keep rolling. Andrew Abbott can't carry them forever.
Yeah, right. We've been expecting him to kind of fall off,
So
for weeks now.
Yeah, Adbert Alzolay, 43% owned. Since week 14, he scored 29 points, 18 points, and 21.5 points. That's easy points right there. 2.4 ERA on the year. What I just get done saying about whips. If it's below 1, it's elite. He's got a .93 whip. 51 strikeouts in 45 innings, only 7 walks. Let's go.
That's elite even for a closer.
Go. Right. So, all right. So that's Adbert. I will get off my Cubs train here.
As if you couldn't tell from the background.
Right. Do you think Jordan Hicks gets traded and becomes a closer somewhere, or is it just a high leverage guy?
No, I guess that depends on where he gets traded. I like the feeling for me is that most of the teams that he would go to already have a closer.
Right.
I just don't, I don't see him going to many contenders and being the closer because they already have one, and that is part of what makes them good.
Yeah, so here's my my dig at Coach Shaver, because the week that I mentioned Alzolay the first time, he had mentioned Hicks, and as we see which has trended in the more positive direction. It's
Yeah, so
Alzolay,
you're ahead in that race.
I am ahead. If the Cubs sell, then things could change. But the Cardinals
Yeah.
aren't buying.
And the Cardinals aren't buying. And if they don't sell Hicks, that's a miss, right? Like,
here the Cubs just beat the Cardinals 10-3, 6 straight wins. They're 500 for the first time since May 3rd.
Yeah,
And
go check out the controversy today for the Cubs and Cards. Whenever you hear this,
yeah, that's me and Wes had a great conversation about it with Wilson Contreras getting beat in the head by Ian Happ.
Yeah,
great. But the Cubs needed that. So, talking about other guys hitting each other in the head. How about your next pick?
Yeah, I don't even want to mention this guy. I'm probably gonna bang my head against the wall. Mentioning this in like a week or so, but Chas McCormick has been absolutely on fire the last 2 weeks. So look, he's been carrying the Astros, honestly. But during his current hot streak, which is 12 days, basically a 2-week period, in 2 weeks his average has gone from 257 to 282. And he's hit 5 home runs with 30 points in 2 weeks. And he's hit 5 home runs with 15 RBIs in that time frame. And I watched a couple Astros games. Every single ball he hit was hard. Every single one. So he's a guy that is just, I don't know, he's just in one of those zones right now that it doesn't matter. He's hitting everything hard. And you know what? That's one of those, I'm gonna blow on the dice and I'm gonna take a roll. I'm gonna pick him up, and you know what? I'm gonna try and ride that hot streak while I can. It will end. I don't think he's as good as this. So I have a pretty short leash for him, but man, while he's hot right now, play it. Roll the dice.
Yeah, have you seen what his batting line for the month of July is? 338, 436, slugging 708 in 19 games. He's slugging 708. 6 home runs, 4 doubles. If you look at
what are his matchups coming up?
I have up right now. I'm reading you, baby. So this weekend is the Tampa Bay Rays, but then moving into August past the deadline, probably not great. Probably not great. This is maybe where his line ends, but he could be carrying. He's got the Guardians, the Yankees, the Orioles, the Angels, the Marlins, the Mariners, the Red Sox. Some pretty good matchups.
The back end of that's going to be pretty tough, right? I mean, especially Marlins.
Mariners got great pitching staff.
The Yankees depends on who he gets. Yeah, Mariners have a great pitching staff. Like, that might be tough. Depends for the Yankees. It might depend on who he gets. If he avoids cold, then maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah,
but
the Yankees probably will add. The Yankees are buyers at 2.5.
That's
back.
True. That's a good point. They're buyers. So, hey man, I'm buying into Chas McCormick. I'm going to play that one week by week to see how that goes. I'm certainly not going to keep him on the roster for a long period of time. But buying it right now because
he was doing it in May too. For the not May, I'm sorry, the month of June. He hit 308, 392, 477. So it's not like this is just the month of July. He's done it for 120 at bats, 130 at bats now. He's been batting this hard. And now they're getting Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez back this week.
Yeah, I know a little skirmish with the Rangers, but Astros need pitching, man. Like, they just need some consistency in the rotation. They're gonna have to buy.
Who's coming?
Pitching. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not sure
there's
what they're gonna do. There's not that much pitching available, honestly. I could see. I mean, that's a position where I could see Stroman going there and being really successful.
I think the Stroman has got such value because there's not a lot of pitching out there. Is Lance Lynn the guy?
Yeah.
Who would you rather have, Stroman or Lance Lynn?
Honestly, Stroman. I think Lynn's at the end of his rope, man.
Yeah.
I just can't. He's a big old boy, man, and like he's pitched that way his entire career, but I just can't buy into Lance Lynn, man.
Now
Mm,
another team that's we just mentioned they're on the Houston Astros schedule, the Red Sox. Um, how's their
yeah,
pitching staff? Do they have a guy that you're looking at here? I have circled on the agenda.
yeah. So
Um,
I started paying attention to this a few games ago. I was trying to, I pay attention to the Red Sox a little bit because I got Bayo on my roster and I like watching him pitch. And Nick Pavetta's been in a weird position for them. He's played a little bit of long relief. He's started some games. He pitched out of the bullpen. He's kind of transitioned. But I mean, here's the thing: the Red Sox are in a bad spot with starting pitching right now. I mean, like they're in a bad spot. Like Bayo is their only consistent starter right now. That's it. Cutter Crawford starting. Whitlock is out still. Houck is out still. I mean, their rotation's in shambles, and Nick Pivetta is a veteran. He's done it for a long time, right? And so I'm going to read you his stats from June and July combined. He has a 1.71 ERA with a 105 average against, and he struck out almost 14 per nine. He has a 40% strikeout rate in June and July. And there are some starts mixed in that. Now, there was some games where he followed an opener, but look, man,
I was about to say
Boston is gonna.
they're
It really
showing
doesn't
that he's
matter.
zero starts in June and July, but he
Yeah,
does have the innings in July.
yeah. Like so, I guess in a weird way for fantasy purposes, I don't care because he's going 6 innings. He's going 7 innings. He's striking out 13 per nine. The only guy that's comparable to that right now is Spencer Strider. So if he's gonna do that, yeah, man, I want him on my roster, and I'm gonna start him. If he goes in the second inning and then pitches until the eighth, so what? He still gets the win.
It almost
And at
he
some point in
doesn't have to.
time, like
Yeah,
he doesn't have to start. And like at some point in time, Boston's just going to let him start the first inning, and what's the difference?
they have to at some point. Their offense is great. They score a lot of runs, but they also give up a lot of runs. If it wasn't for James Paxton, I think the Red Sox are in dead last and they're below 500.
I would probably agree. I would agree with that. I honestly think the Red Sox probably overperformed this year.
Yeah, they've
Paxton
had.
was
I
a
mean,
surprise, and he's
absolutely
pitched really well.
coming off the injured list and maybe having one game where he had a blow up game, and the rest
Yeah,
he's been near elite. I think I could almost say that for James
yeah.
Paxton.
I would probably put him in the nearly tier. I mean, he's been really good.
So
And
one guy I want to mention, I don't know that I would be adding him, but if you have adding him to just put on a bench. But if you have minor slots, or in dynasty leagues, he's already taken. But if you have minor slots, or you just have a big bench, I am of the belief that Jackson Holliday will be up this year. Am I crazy, Wes?
okay.
Jackson
Honestly, we were
Holliday.
we we were talking about this before the show, right? And there are some guys that come around once in a decade. Juan Soto is an example. Bryce Harper is an example where they get to the major leagues at like the age of 19 and they just
Perform.
never falter. They just never falter. And you're expecting them to not perform or to see a challenge. And man, Jackson Holliday, every single step of the way, has just gotten better. And I would love to tell you that you're wrong. I would love to sit here and make the argument that you're wrong. But to be honest, I don't really have anything to say that you're wrong. Like, the dude has taken every challenge and surpassed it more than we could ever expected to this point. So, I, yeah, man, Sure, he's probably going to be up this year. I don't know. Like, he's so good. It's incredible. And I honestly think that Jackson Holliday is that next once in a generational type player where he gets up, he's 19, he's 20 years old, and he never falters.
I mean, the Orioles shortstop right now, Jorge Mateo, is batting 222. Oh, I'm sorry, that's his career. For this season, he's batting 211 with 52 hits, 40 runs, 6 home runs only. Jackson Holliday, start of the year in low A, moved up to high A after 14 games, spent 57 games in high A, and was a quick promotion. I mean, the dude batted 314, 452,
Yeah.
488 in high A.
And honestly, I think they have to move Westberg to get an arm. So I don't anticipate Westberg being there much longer.
Right.
So I mean, not that he was going to be the guy to block Jackson Holliday, anyways. But I anticipate Westberg being moved. Maybe he goes to. I'm not sure where he would even go at this point, but
the Cubs.
Yeah.
I mean, then the Orioles got Joey Ortiz, who is smashing at the AAA level. Also, who is a shortstop / second baseman. I mean, they're loaded. And so, like you said, they've got
I know
Westberg.
Heston Kjerstad went off again. Like, cheers. The embarrassment of riches, man.
Yes. I mean, if I didn't mention Jackson Holliday's stats at AA, 357, 400, 524 slugging. That's MVP type numbers that he's doing at 19 years old at AA. Just let him skip AAA.
Yeah.
Come right up, see what you got. I mean, the guy's going to perform. So that's my honorable mention for our waiver wires here. If he's available and you have a spot to fill, that's an exciting spot to add there. Usually I wouldn't fill a bench spot with a hold like this in redraft leagues, but in any kind of keeper, he better not be available in your league.
Two guys I want to just kind of mention real quick. Nolan Gorman, man, if you look at his trends, it honestly looks like a perfect Excel graph. I mean, it was like stair step up, stair step down, stair step up, stair step down. But
Excel like the exercise bike.
Yeah, exactly.
It is exactly.
It's pretty funny.
Yep.
It is like insane. But he scored 41.5 points in that week 15 combined week, and he's been hot lately. He's now up to 22 home runs on the year. And in the current period, so this week, he has 5 hits, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and he scored 21 points. So Gorman is hot again. Maybe he's just that type of player where he's real streaky. And look, the last time that he did this, it lasted looks like 3-4 weeks worth. So I think we're about week 2 of his hot streak. So man, I might buy into Nolan Gorman and play that for another week and a half, 2 weeks.
Month of July, he's smashing. 282, 346, 648 slugging with 7 home runs. It's too bad he's going to probably lose a little bit of protection in that Cardinals lineup. But I don't think that's going to stop Gorman from hitting home runs.
That's a great point. So if Goldie and Arenado get traded, I'm out on that. Like, I would absolutely rescind that statement.
But if just Goldie, is there? I think
the other guy I wanted to mention. I don't know. What the report came out today that who was it? The Dodgers were checking in on Arenado.
Oh, please don't.
And
anybody with the Dodgers.
That well, all right. That would make perfect sense, though, right? Arenado to the Dodgers. Great defender. Great bat. Muncy DHs or platoons or whatever.
Yep.
Who cares? And they get a bona fide Gold Glover at third base. Dude, that might, and with, the trade with Rosario then makes more sense because they just need a defender there at short and they got a bat at third. Oh man. That would be a good move for the Dodgers, and they got the pieces to make that happen.
I'm pulling up the Dodgers prospect list now, and they do. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like you could go like an Emmett Sheehan. You can go like some, a Ryan Pepio, and kind of make that trade happen, man. The Cardinals could get 2 or 3 top prospects out of that, and a major league ready guy.
Yeah. I don't think they pulled the trigger on Arenado since he's so controlled. And the dude screwed himself out of a lot more money. The Cardinals really have Arenado on a deal. Not a mega deal or anything, but Arenado could have got more money. Who was that other guy you wanted to mention?
Francisco Alvarez. Ah, man. Maybe I just like the guys that are...
You do. You have a guy for
Francisco. I don't know, man. I love this guy, and I also hate this guy at the same time. He's one of those guys where, man, when he is wrong, he is wrong. God, he looks awful. But he looks right now, and he's been stroking, man. So week 14, he scored 33 points. Week 15, 21 and a half. He's been on fire, all right? I mentioned him because the catcher position has been so volatile all year, man. Like, it's so hard to get consistency at the catching position. Now, I'll say Jonah Heim is the number 1 scoring catcher in points leagues. All right?
Shut up. No, he's not.
Go look. Adley Rutschman, I think, is number 2.
Jonah Heim? Really? I mean, I wasn't completely doubting you. I'll look, but oh my, I don't. That's projections. That's not stats. Jonah Heim.
Oh, he's number 2. Adley took him over because he got hurt. They're tied. They're both at 278.
Jonah Heim. What is this? What? Sean Murphy, Will Smith, Rutschman, JT Realmuto, and it's Jonah Heim.
I'm not knocking the Adley Rutschmans, the Sean Murphys, Will Smith, JT Realmuto, right? But like catching is so volatile, right? Like the reason Jonah Heim has scored that many points is because he has 328 at bats, man. And like that's just more than most catchers. Now Sal Perez is just kind of a, he
don't count. He plays for the Royals.
I know. So I'm mentioning Francisco Alvarez because he's hot right now, man. And I feel like catcher is a position in fantasy where it's so volatile. You can flip catchers when they're hot and play that card. Well, Francisco Alvarez is hot right now.
Slugging .619 for the month of July.
I could turn around and on Sunday tell you, wow, man, he struck out 8 times over the weekend. I probably wouldn't start him. He's also that type of player, right? So he can go hot and cold just like that. But right now, he's hot. So I'm playing him.
If you're the guy that doesn't have one of those elite catchers, top of the league catchers, you got to ride who's hot, and Alvarez is, and he should continue to do that even after the trade deadline. He shouldn't be affected. He was a prize prospect by the Mets.
Yeah, he's not going to get traded, right? Like he's team controlled for the next 4 or 5 years. So, but he leads catchers in home runs in 19. So
that's the Kyle Schwarber of catching.
Yes. That is a perfect comp.
If he hits a home run, that's fantastic. But in weeks 11 and 12, it did not look good.
Yeah, that's that's it. He is the Kyle Schwarber of catching.
So hey, if you need a catcher and you need want some to be home run reliant, Francisco Alvarez is your guy. But otherwise, we're gonna. You got something else, Wes? Before I wrap us up?
No, no, I'm gonna ask you this. Just I want to. What's your take on Jorge Lopez? Does he take the job from Puck? Like, am I picking up Jorge Lopez right now to in speculative to see if he's the closer? What's gonna happen down there
I
in
thought AJ
Miami?
Puke is the closer.
He was. He's been struggling, man.
But so the that trade was more of a change of scenery kind of thing. They're both.
Yeah, they gave up Dylan Floro. They got Jorge Lopez in return, and Lopez has an extra year of control. So I think it was more about control for the Marlins. I don't think they're real players at the deadline because they've spent a lot of time building and developing their minor leagues, and I just don't see them, diminishing that to try and win this year right now. So, but Jorge Lopez has been a closer in the past. He was very successful with the Orioles before being traded to Minnesota, and then something happened and he sucked. And I'm not sure what happened. Maybe
That's what
because he
happens.
wasn't maybe because he wasn't in that high leverage role anymore and Joan Duran was there. I'm not sure, but Puck has been struggling and Floro is now gone, so I guess my question is, am I paying attention to Jorge Lopez to see if he starts getting saves?
When I saw that trade, that didn't cross my mind at all. I still think AJ Puck's
The guy?
the guy there. I I I don't think the Marlins buy real big at the deadline. They
Nah.
don't score nearly enough runs, but they could retool a little bit, like with this trade. Did they get that? Is Lopez the one with the extra control over Floro?
Yeah, yeah. Lopez has an
Yeah.
extra
So this
year.
is a retool kind of move, and that's what the Marlins needed to do. They don't score nearly enough runs. If they go into the playoffs, they're gonna get shut down. I mean, Luis Arias hits singles. That's
Yeah,
about it.
he does. Dude, he is such a unique player.
Yeah, but
Like,
they Brian De La Cruz, Jorge Soler in the outfield, Jazz Chisholm. There's no consistent bats in that lineup.
how about this? Tim Anderson to Miami.
I was talking about that with the buddy just yesterday. The Marlins could take
Like a low,
an
like you're
infielder.
not. Here's the thing. This is the best time to buy Tim Anderson because this is the worst he's performed ever in his career.
He hasn't hit a
And
home run since last July of 2022. Tim
I
Anderson.
know. Dude, could you imagine if he goes this entire year and doesn't hit a home run?
That's what he gets for beating his wife. But
Jeez.
the Marlins could take any middle infielder, and because
Yeah.
their third baseman is shoot, I'm blanking on his name. Talked about him just yesterday. Joey
You're not
Wendell,
talking about Wendell's yeah, he swaps around. He plays shortstop
Gene
some.
Segura. Gene Segura's
Gene
having a
Segura,
terrible
Wendell,
year.
and then Rojas all kind of transition out of shortstop and third.
That's that's a
Hey,
terrible infield.
yeah, I know. You know,
Yeah,
you know Tim Anderson from Birmingham.
yeah, UAB.
Yeah,
Yeah, JP
old
talked
stomping
about
grounds.
he played ball or knew him at some point.
Yeah, crazy man.
So,
Anyways, yeah,
all right, we're ready to close out episode 30. This is 37. No, this is
this is
38.
38.
So, episode 38, waiver wire here. There were some great. Wes had some great guys listed there with Seth Lugo, right? Nick Pavetta's in the starting rotations. Chas McCormick, who's hot. Will Benson's hot. Adbert Alzolay could be a great closing option, and then Jackson Holliday. Jackson Holliday could be up.
And nothing would surprise me at this point, man, with that guy.
I want to see it. So, well, this has been episode 38 of Fantasy Baseball Camp. Be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe. Go to YouTube. Our videos are here. You can see Wes's different hats and his Barrels and Barrels shirt that he's rocking tonight. Um, so go check it out on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. So more content's coming out on YouTube as well. We're trying for that fantasy player of the day. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but Wes is always putting out the daily content on Twitter. So follow Wes on Twitter and see he's giving you daily waiver wire advice. This episode's our weekly. Wes is giving you daily waiver wire advice. So follow him on Twitter, BNB_Wes. I'm BNB_Burns on all social media platforms. And that'll be it. We'll catch you guys in the next one.